Hey everybody, it's Aurora. So this is the video that I've been putting off making for a little while because I just never really had the chance lately to sit down and make a video. I'm sorry. I've been a little bit preoccupied and I wanted to make this video good and informative. You might notice my hair. I did change my hair a little bit. I was like really annoyed with having to fix my hair during all my videos. I was like constantly touching my hair. You probably understand. And so I just got it out of my face so I can focus on the information that I am giving you. So let's talk about the voice. So I'm sure you know there are many, many videos on YouTube with trans girls talking about their voice feminization process and how they went about feminizing their voice through their transition, because your voice is something very, very important when you're transitioning. Voice is something very, very noticeable, of course, so you could look very, very passable as a trans woman, but open your mouth and someone will know right away that you are a man, and you just don't want to break the illusion, so to speak. So you need to feminize the voice. I believe that is one of the first steps you can take in a transition. So for example, if you are unable to transition physically yet, you can work on your voice. That is something you are able to do by yourself without anybody else. I don't believe, okay, please take this with a grain of salt. I don't really believe in professional help vocally. I believe everybody has the ability to transition their voice because it is not as complicated as some videos and some professionals may make it sound. Way before I started transitioning, I searched so many videos on YouTube about transitioning, but one that popped up a lot was voice feminization. And so I did get a lot of information out of it, and I also got a lot of information that I found not helpful, a lot of information I found misleading and difficult and unnecessary. So I've basically looked at all that information that I learned from YouTube, from books that I've read, from people that I've actually talked to in person. So I've taken other people's knowledge and my own experience and basically come up with a pretty decent, easy, not too hard to understand way to feminize your voice. And before I start, I just want to say my voice is not perfect. I'm not 100% happy with it. I get a lot of comments from people that are saying, your voice is really, really feminine. How'd you get it that way? And honestly, I just have to say, look, I have not worked as hard on my voice as I want to. I am just naturally at a higher octave than some guys. I've always been that way. Like through my elementary school and middle school, people would make fun of me because I had a slightly higher voice. And I am into theater. I do practice lots of singing. The craft is your voice in acting, so I am very trained vocally. So with that said, with my history in vocal training, I found it very confusing when some trans girls would explain a very, very difficult procedure that they took to feminizing their voice, and I'm just like, well, it could be so much simpler. You could simplify it and make it faster and more effective, and that's what I've done. So let me share how I feminized my voice. There is so much information on YouTube about going into falsetto voice. Basically, most of the videos you see on YouTube, trans girls are talking about falsetto. If you don't know what that is, falsetto is another word for falsetto is head voice. For singing, you'll say head voice usually. And that is when you take all the voice out of your chest and literally go right up here into your throat. That's why they call it head voice. You're basically bringing your voice up here. And I'll demonstrate to you what it sounds like, but we are just letting you know we are not going to be using this in this practice that I'm doing today. But this is what it sounds like. So it's kind of hard to do, but this is what it sounds like in head voice. It's really hard to keep because it's like a really, really high pitch. So I'm gonna get out of head voice right now. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, that was head voice. That is what it sounds. I'm sure you've heard that before. That's what it sounds like when girls explain how they feminize their voice. They say, I went up into head voice and lowered from there. So that's what I've heard all over YouTube. Most people's voice feminization process includes going into head voice and lowering their voice from being all the way up there. At first I was like, okay, so I want to try that. I want to see how that works. So at first I went up into head voice. So I started up here And then all the videos say, go down from this head voice. By the way, I sound like Mickey Mouse. So that's another word for that voice. Mickey Mouse voice, old grandma voice, whatever. So you go up here and then you're supposed to lower your voice, I guess. So I'm just gonna lower my voice. But then I get here and I sound like Pinocchio from Shrek. And then I break out of head voice. It's really hard to keep head voice because it's in an upper register that once you break the upper register, you're not in head voice anymore. You're back to your lower normal voice again. So I think it's easier to start at your normal range before any voice feminization and work your way up. That's always so much easier. It's way easier starting from the bottom and working your way up. That's the case with, I think, anything in life. So I'm not really gonna go down into my lower register. I used to be at a little bit of a lower register than what I am at right now. I used to have more vibration in my chest and I used to sound a little bit more like a dude. Honestly, it doesn't bug me going into the voice. It's not that much of a difference from my normal voice. I also think my voice has naturally gotten a little bit higher since I started my transition. But let me share with you what I do to get my voice this way. Here is the first step that I took to feminizing my voice. Here we go, nice and easy. Okay, so I started at my normal register. It's probably was lower than this, I don't know. I started at my lower register and then I counted up from 1. So I'm gonna go from like number 1 to number 10 and I'm just gonna count. And as I count, I slowly raise the pitch of my voice by tightening my stomach muscles and tightening my vocal cords. And it also helps if you put your fingers like this right along your vocal cords and kind of guide your voice up. You're not really doing anything when you do this, but it helps guide your voice up into your throat and up closer to head voice. So here's what it is. So you start at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what it feels like up here at 10, I wouldn't normally talk up here all the time because I am tightening my stomach muscles a lot. But what you are doing talking up here, it basically feels like you are hunching your shoulders in, you have your stomach's all really tight, and your throat is all the way at the back of your throat, like up here, up right below your tongue, it feels. And it helps to be a little bit squeaky. So if you really want to practice this method to an extreme, you would sound like this. You would sound like a little squeaky mouse almost. But this is basically where we want to get. But we also want to do a few more things to the voice. Once we get it, I'm going to talk normally now. Once we get it up here in the throat, here are the other things that I've learned that really help once you're up here. You have to remember to keep your voice breathy. So work on the S's and work on the W's, and it also helps to enunciate a lot. So females, I've noticed, enunciate a lot. You can tell what they're saying by the way they move their lips and their mouths, as opposed to guys that kind of, yeah, they can talk at one kind of range and just kind of move their lips a little bit, as opposed to females who talk more with their lips and enunciate more. Other thing you have to remember, this is the only other big thing you do have to remember, is changing the levels of your voice. So for example, like just when I said that, changing the levels of your voice. Whenever you say certain things, like saying hello. I saw a great video somewhere on YouTube. I don't know who it was, who made the video, but maybe I'll try to credit them. This woman was talking about women and men saying hello to each other. So men usually say, hey, and it's really straightforward with no levels to it, hey. But as opposed to women say, hey, hello, how are you? Good to see you, how have you been? So women add more fluctuation to their voice. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it. So those are the only things that I have done to help feminize my voice. Again, I start from the bottom and slowly raise the pitch of my voice. And it's easy to control because you can do it as gradually as you want. If you do want to spend a whole day talking up here, You can do it. It's not too hard to do. You just hold the muscles in your stomach and in your throat, and it's not hard to speak like this. But if you find it does irritate your voice, if you find after like 10 minutes your voice is getting sore, make sure you hydrate yourself. Drink a lot of water. Drink something hot. Try not to drink coffee. Drink some tea. And try not to smoke as much. If you smoke, I know it's difficult to quit, but it will really help with feminizing your voice, because smoke clogs your throat and you get really phlegmy, and it's not easy to speak clearly when you smoke. And also, I can go on and on and on what not to eat and drink when you're practicing with your voice, just because I'm a singer and I know that it's not right to have dairy right before you're gonna sing, or it's not right to have bread or anything sticky like peanut butter is not smart to have. Honey is very good though. Honey is very good for the throat. It soothes the throat. So if you're gonna practice voice feminization, I say the easiest way to start it, again, is starting from 1 and just counting up slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if you just wanna leave it at a 3 or a 2, while you're just starting out with your voice feminization, that is fine. You just have to be aware of it throughout your day. So before you're gonna go out in public or talk to anyone, go to work, just start at a 1. 1, 2, 3, and maybe keep it at a 3 for the day and see how that treats you. And then maybe the next day go up a little bit higher and just slowly, slowly adapt your voice to a higher level. And make sure to remember, of course, breathiness, enunciation, and fluctuating your voice levels when you speak. And that's really it. That is all I have done with voice feminization practice at home by myself. I don't have any help from any professional. I have talked to some other trans girls about it though, so I have learned a lot from other people, and of course YouTube has helped me so much. But I would love to learn some other ways that girls feminize your voice. If you're going through voice feminization right now, comment down below or tell me the process in which you took to feminizing your voice, because I always love to learn from other people. But yeah, this is the process that I took and the process that I'm currently taking. Maybe one day I'll understand why going into the Mickey Mouse head voice helps. I don't really think it does. But I do want to get my voice higher and higher every day, because even though I am being told that it sounds passable enough, I still worry sometimes, and I still feel like I slip into my lower register sometimes. It's very easy to slip into your lower register, but I am young, and so I have not been speaking too deep my entire life, so it might be easier for me. But everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses and different ways to learn different things. So this might not be the best way for you, but it is the best way for me, and this is how I've learned. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I hope this video is helpful. And this is just gonna be my first video in my voice feminization series here on YouTube. I really wanna document this process further, because it is just another thing that you have to transition throughout your transition. There are many physical aspects, but the voice is very delicate and something that needs a lot of time and work. And I think it's a very beautiful thing, and it's very, very fun to work with, because this is your means of communication, people. So it needs a lot of attention. And so thank you so much for watching this video. And I appreciate everyone subscribing and liking my videos and following me on Instagram. I really, really appreciate it. And ask me any questions further about this topic, or comment down below, please, and tell me about your experience, how you've tried to feminize your voice. And if you feel stuck with voice feminization, if you really, really feel stuck, please feel free to message me. Maybe we can set up a Skype call and I can help with your feminization in any way. I would love to help, as always, of course. And that's it for me right now. But yeah, until my next video, I will see you all later. Bye. Mwah.